I mean,
Hello, guys.
Hello, Cineros. So Clutch Cineros is also a position 1 player. He's like he's 6k MMR2, and he actually helped me a lot on doing those.
Why aren't they doing
Okay.
anything? They're just standing around. Relax, Morty.
But actually, you're playing position 3, right?
yeah, for this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I can show you a position 1 game, but
No, I guess it's fine. Okay, so basically in this lane, like, how do they kill you? So you're facing like Slark and Shadow Shaman probably. So this is like you need to think on how people actually can kill you on offlane whenever you live in the base, because it changed your item build. Like, so how do they do damage here?
they probably all in.
You think they all win? I think they would like start like throwing the shock on you, and Slark is gonna slowly shift hit you with essence shift.
Oh,
So
true, yeah.
yeah, but so
I
basically
do better in quick trades, do I not?
on quick trades.
Yeah. Slark wants to dive in, eat some of my essence, and then walk out. But like, if I Q W and walk away, he's not gonna. That's not a favorable trade for him.
I don't know. I just think that
No, I ain't ready for this.
yeah, you're probably going for the QW here in this lane. But even like if you're going for the all-in, it makes sense to me that you need to like think your regen items based on what damage your enemies does. Like so basically what I'm trying to tell you is that I probably would leave with one more set of tangles instead of like the solve, you know. Because usually if people do damage over time like that, they slowly harass you. Tangles are better than solves. All the rest I think it's fine.
Well, there's that pesky horn.
You take the room? Yeah. Yeah, this is not the most favorite matchup for you.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't even go for the bounty rune for the reasons of I would be watching my name up and seeing where my Nyx is because he's the stunner. If I don't have stunner near me, I know it's not like worth for me to take the rune. Because what they can do, they can ascend shift and then the shaman can level up stun.
Yeah. I played it pretty risky there.
Oh. Fine.
Basically, it's like never worth like to play like risky. Because it can lose you the lane compared to giving you one bounty.
Yeah, you mean on the bounty room, right?
Yeah. Like it applies anywhere. It's never good to go for risky plays if the risky plays are based on if enemy plays good or not.
Oh, I think it's really good that you died here, man. To be honest. Because you actually spent all your regen on this dive here. And probably what happened is like if Slark ever comes back to the lane, he probably win this lane. If you don't die. I'm not...
Also, you can
Yeah, I've heard
Also-
of the theory of dying is good.
Yeah.
also you're a league player, so in Dota these things are like solved by like immediately buying items, like having them in your inventory already queued up and buy them because you had 500 gold and you can already buy like some stuff.
Yeah, yes.
You're going
So,
for the regen greedy build, okay.
I think it's fine. I think the build is fine, but like since this doesn't build into anything like besides Taresk itself, it builds in something else. Holy lock,
Yeah,
I
I
don't think.
normally hold it until late game. I think it's just a decent stat item,
Yeah.
specifically Centaur.
So, but what I'm saying is that like it almost costs like you almost had like a ring of health. So maybe you could go ring of health and then build into something else. I don't know. I'm not saying the ring of Taresk is bad, but you had a lot of money already, so it was...
Talking about the one that's the secret shop one, right?
Yeah, this one here.
Because I built that one as well.
Oh, this is too much then probably. Then you probably shouldn't buy the ring of Taresk. Do you know about the mechanic of like Control Shift and press an item?
I would
No.
go aggressive build. Like I would go like I don't know phase boots or something. Like something aggressive rather than passive on Centaur. Like I know it heals you and then you can W more. But I would still go for the right click damages. It's just that with Slark, it's just you want to poke him when he pokes you, and then you fall back. And I would repeat this process all
Oh,
the
this is
time.
bug.
Yeah, like see like the Slark, like he's weak. Like the level 6, you gonna win every single trade basically with him. So I would rather go for damage items.
Yeah, maybe Bracer is good. Bracer I think is fine because it gives you also regen. So it gives damage and regen.
Whoa, Dyer's bottom tower.
And status. So Clutch, basically you need to hold Control, Shift, and press an item, and then we'll be on the automatic buy list here.
I would probably still go straight face rather than bracer. Like
So let's see if someone has some. So you see, Invoker has this item here queued up for buying. So basically, when you have those items, it's easier for you to buy items, like because it's just here, so you just right click here and you buy. So see, Terrorblade has some queued up. It's Control Shift and you click on the item you want. I'm just telling you this because you said you come from League of Legends, and I think this is unique for Dota.
Oh boy, Dyer's bottom tower's getting hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Scenarios is kind of right. Like, you could go for the Bracers build.
Tower's under attack.
I play Slark a lot, and I think I would hate if Kentaur goes for face like immediately, and he buys first item, even the
Chainmail.
blades, no, not chainmail, the blades, like to hit me more. It's
Oh.
like he just I right click him and he right clicks me back, and then we both fell back because he's gonna get stacks and I don't. But I'm gonna like hit him slightly, which is annoying for Slark.
What item were we talking about?
This one.
The face boot, the blades, like that gives damage. Basically, face boots, that's the main priority. Like face boots for the shaman and to deal more damage to Slark. That's big priority. Just to like get it before he gets 6, which is pretty easy to do it. And yeah, and then you can right click because I know that Kentaur will win the trades versus Slark.
Okay. Yeah, you're actually trading a lot of auto attack, so like basically what you need to think, Clutch, is like am I trading auto attacks with people? Then probably the answer is like go stats. Even Bracer, because Bracer also gives you HP regen, right? And it gives you damage. So I think those will be fine here in this lane. Oh, good.
Like the rank is like probably mainline for Kentaur just because it synergizes with his W, but I would probably try the face boots here. Just for
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
like,
Yeah, this is too much regen.
it's fine. But both is probably yeah, this is too much regen, yeah. Both is probably fine because you can still combo it with W. Like the first rank is fine because you can combo it with W, but me personally I would still go with the face.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, I personally would say that I'll probably go for Bracers here now because it gives regen. Like he actually needs regen because
Tower is under attack.
like Shaman supposedly will throw like thunders on him, and it's good to have some sustain. And actually Bracers offer both the damage, the statues, and the regen.
Yeah, I think it's people's preference because like this is the type of scenario where like one is like the main line of what synergizes with that hero, but the second one is like what I feel is more beneficial in this type of
Okay, you don't need to go base.
this hero.
You have like 2 rings of regen that gives you regen, so you don't need to go base. You can at least, like, if you're so scared to die, like, you just go hit a camp. I don't know, but you're actually not scared.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for you to walk base.
Yeah, when I was doing this, I was thinking about not wanting to back, but I just didn't think that I wanted to take a camp. And then I also thought that if I didn't go get at least a little bit more mana and something, then some shit could happen.
Oh,
And I
definitely.
thought I could just have time for it.
Yeah, definitely take camp, and once you take the camp, then you pull the big camp if the Slark doesn't push into you. And if he does, then you just go into your tower and farm it easily.
Are you familiar with pooling and stacking?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he would like freeze the lane in near his tower. He would like pull the big camp towards the left. And if you don't see him on the map, it means like he's going at you. So I would check like how many people are on the map, and if more people missing, you are probably getting ranked at, which is still fine. You know, you're 1 versus more players, so you're gonna go back to jungling and gonna try pull next wave and repeat this process all the time.
So basically, what you can do here, like for example, here you're kind of strong, right? As an offlane. And I think Pud just showed a map somewhere, like earlier. And there's a siege creep coming, so what I would do right now, since I'm that strong and I'm bullying Slark, I would probably cut this wave here. Like come through this and drag this wave, because there's a siege creep wave coming, and and especially because Slark, there's no way to, like he probably doesn't okay, he didn't even level the Q. So he doesn't have a way to shove waves. So basically if you cut this wave here, you take his tower, because you have a siege creep coming.
So I should just abandon the wave I was already on?
Right here, wait. So, for example, here.
Interesting.
Like,
So-
forget these minions and just move on
No.
to the next wave?
No, you could just kill them faster with your W.
Or just, okay, hard shove, yeah.
Yeah, hard shove it and go cut the wave.
So I'm just last hitting.
Yeah,
But how he's gonna do that? Like, you know,
right, press W and come here. You know?
he doesn't have time. You know, like because
He does. Look at this right now.
If I use my
W.
W
Yeah,
and the minions.
he can kill
I
the
mean,
creep
maybe I
fast
would have
and
missed like
run.
maybe one of them, but I could just still cut.
Yeah. Just cut the wave. Like even now, you could anticipate the creeps here. Like you could do script, okay, but right now you need to be moving forward. Like tank some attacks on the tower, doesn't matter, you're fucking tanky. You have chainmail, you have regen, just tank some attacks and grab this wave. Like anticipate the creeps meeting.
Scenario, it would be cool. Yeah, it would be cool in ideal scenario.
So basically now you have the siege creeps, but your creeps are not hitting the tower, so it's not the most efficient.
Dire's top tower's under attack.
And now your siege creep is dead.
Save that Radiant's middle tower.
So you see, you could have cut this wave. And actually, since you're maxed the W, you're really good on farming like
Jeez, Radiant's middle
Did
a lot
he
of creeps.
fortify?
Yeah. He didn't.
Did
Yeah,
he
yeah.
fortify?
Yeah, you could fortify the siege creep also. Like right here, you could fortify.
Dire's top tower's under
Yeah,
attack.
the sooner you fortify, the better it is usually because
There's more creeps,
protects
yes.
more creeps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is destroyed.
Hmm.
Okay, this is fine.
For example, I would probably fortify once you hit the W, because what he can do is while you're hitting the W, he might fortify and like destroy your push. But so we don't want to like fortify if we not gonna get the tower anyways. So once I know that he didn't fortify against my W, then I would fortify.
Oh, you're going from Blade Mail. So yeah, you see like these items are good, like the rings they're actually useful for you on the lane, but they're not building into anything right now. So this is like 800, almost 1,500 gold that is like directed to only region, like I don't know. And it's not building into anything, any big item, you know. So you probably your first item will come at like 16 minutes, 17 minutes, which will be Blade Mail.
You don't want that many region versus Slark, I would say. I think you want to be aggressive.
Yeah, I'd say like you could go for Bracer, you could go for Face Boots. I think you should choose one of these, Like if you're going, I would choose probably Ring of Health because like then I can build into, I don't know, Crimson Guard. I can build into Defiance. Like the only thing that Tarask build is like a Tarask, right?
Yeah.
What I was thinking is maybe doing the same similar build that carries do, like the 2 rings of 175.
Yeah,
Then building like at some point building maybe the pipe from it.
Oh boy,
yeah.
Also buying the blade mail in this game. And yeah, and then I would like rush face boots or the bracelet into face boots, like one of those definitely. I would probably go face, but yeah, even the bracelet is actually cool.
under attack.
Hey Diggers, you're the next one,
I just
Diggers.
know how the Slark is like so weak, so I like to
Okay.
be very aggressive on him.
Okay, okay. Again, you could just run towards here, grab the wave, and farm together with the camp.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so you actually let the creep sip the tower, and you farm more efficiently because you're farming both the creep waves, both the creep wave and the camp.
Tower's under attack. Dire's top tower's under attack.
Oh no, don't get out, don't go away.
Yeah.
Like Terrorblade will probably come and defend this at some point, so you should be probably taking the tower. You should probably take the tower. Oh no.
Constantly keep the pressure top.
Like as an offlaner, you wanna drag people towards you. Like you wanna be that annoying guy that keeps poking their tower and denying their space from them. Like and actually the build you went, like you went for full regen, a lot of armor, move speed. Like this is the perfect build for like staying on an area. Like you don't have ways of initiation. So like for example, if you rush a dagger, I wouldn't understand that you want to move and find people because dagger doesn't help you like tanking creeps, taking towers, etc. It helps you fighting.
Your build is like full farming build, something like that right now, because like the region helps you W, right? So it's like for farming.
Yeah, it's farming and like being tanky and staying on area.
Yeah, it's like there's no hero in the game, and I'm just gonna shove lanes with W and farm with W. That's why I have 2 rings. But I would say you need to keep the pressure top, and
Yep.
you know, don't have that many rings for that. Like your Terror Blade can farm all that. It's not that you guys don't have carries and somebody needs to farm all camps on the map. Like you have Terror Blade, he can take over 2 lanes and 1 jungle. Like he can take care of a lot of camps. You don't need to have 2 rings at all. Even in mid game.
Oh, Dire's courier got killed. Are you kidding me? Weak.
Okay, some TPs. Maybe 1 clarity. Also 1 is good here.
Yeah.
Whenever you play versus Voker and spellcasters, buy the 1.
Oh no.
Yeah, also you can buy the dust if you want.
Yeah. So basically, I would add the wand here. And maybe the wand could be instead of the Ring of Tarask or the Ring of Health.
Okay. I would go top again.
Are you building
I would
Blink?
ignore. I would ignore ancients. I would go top again for one.
Tower's under attack. Dire's bottom tower's under attack.
Yeah, top. Top. Also, I would be clicking my jungle item. It gives you health. Yeah, I don't want to play bottom much. For most part.
Okay, I think there's one thing that can help you, like buying TPs. Have you configured the quick buy item here? Because
To a button? No.
there's one like this option right here, purchase sticky. So you can like place whatever item you want there, then it's gonna be forever there. So for example, for me, whenever I play F8, I'm buying TPs. So because I just think like TPs is the item that you buy most times in the game. And then I just have it like on the quick buy, so you maybe can still go this. It actually helps me a lot to never be out of TPs.
Can you rewind?
Yes, I can
Can
rewind.
you rewind after this? I'm gonna show you one thing. Like let's say here, yeah, after this camp, let's say. So after this camp, you have like decisions. You see, like if you watch carefully, like the minimap for the last like 30 seconds, you're gonna notice that enemies are like, let's say, on mid lane or on bottom, like somewhere in that area, and then there's no guy that can kill you top. Like everybody died basically, and now they are like mid or nowhere. Like they are not top. Now you see them like all at bottom, right? So instead of like this camp or whatever, I would be heading towards my lane top. I would even do it before the big jungle camp probably, but after jungle camp you just have to realize it and push out the top, because what's gonna happen in next minute, you're gonna see what's gonna happen is that if you move slightly faster, yeah, if you move slightly faster, is that this camp dealt you some damage that's also pretty not cool, but the what's gonna happen is gonna push into you, because you know how the lane is snowballs at the top, and now you had like some opportunity to fight bottom, but now you guys fighting for v5. Why are you guys fighting for v5? Because the lane top is not shoved. It's just for that reason. Like you could have been here with your teleport, right? Like you could have farmed top and then TP bottom and fight this the same way you fighting it right now, right?
And Terrorblade will probably be here.
And Terrorblade would probably be here exactly with the meta, and he would kill them all. Instead, what happens is he's now farming the stuff that you could have farmed instead of the jungle camp. And yeah, and the TP is not even used. Like very valuable spell. Like think of it as like some spell you're not using, kind of. Like think of it as like global spell that teleports you every 80 seconds. Like it's pretty cool spell, right? Like would you say like people that don't use it like ever, like don't utilize it, they gonna probably have like lower win rate, right? Like using it like to shove something and then TP to fights is like the best usage for teleports ever.
Yeah.
Okay. But you guys are actually winning right now.
Once I have Blink, I definitely buy Dust, because I'm gonna be the guy that does the Invoker.
Yeah, you're gonna be starting people, yeah.
So once the Invoker BKBs, I would Dust, because it's gonna stay on him. Yeah, okay. Okay, be careful, because they might have item that, you know, Slark might have item that like, you know, like the Invis item and stuff like that, so.
So we actually, this is really strange because like I think right now, for example, I think it's here. Like why you didn't farm this camp? You exited. Because you knew they were...
It takes too long.
Yeah, it takes too long and also... Oh, I thought you were like afraid of people here.
No, it just takes forever. I was afraid of people because I knew it would take too long for me to farm it.
Yeah,
It
but...
was a combination of both.
But then like
people there, and I knew I couldn't take it fast enough to farm it.
Yeah, then you actually spin around, you farm a camp, and then you go back to the place there where you were supposed to die because you were afraid. So this is kind of weird.
Yeah, instead of this play, I would like walk all the way towards the...
Yeah, I don't die here.
Yeah. But it's still like it still might be bad because you're low HP and you're the initiator. So for example, if Invoker is there, your team's probably all dead.
You think? Even, like, isn't my job just to soak? Isn't that the whole purpose?
Yeah, but it's even better. Yeah, it's even better if you initiate on them, and then they need to throw spells because you initiated. But actually, you couldn't throw any spells there because you were just like being smashed. Like if this is gonna happen to someone, it's better that happens if you, of course, because people might have 2 times to respawn, etc. But like it's even better if it doesn't happen.
Yeah, honestly, I don't play against Invoker very much, and I had no clue that he's such bullshit.
Yeah.
Soaking damage is like not like job in Dota much. Because like the job is like to either like initiate, or if you can't initiate, be like annoying enough like with your damage that they cannot ignore you
Oh man, Tiger's bottom tower.
or do some other job like shoving lanes or something. It's like soaking damage is not much of a job because do they have to like hit you? Like they don't, right? Like they can ignore you, right? Why not? You know, like eh, they need to have like a reason why to not ignore you.
After Tiger's bottom tower.
Yeah, and the reason probably is that you're jumping on their heads with Blink Dagger.
Tiger's bottom tower's getting hit.
Yeah, and even then they should maybe even ignore you or whatever, like slow you and then ignore you because like who's gonna go through blade mail and stuff?
Yeah,
So, like-
but like it's harder, right? So it actually disrupts the
Yeah.
fight by doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, like so I would be like focusing on something I can do in that fight, not like, oh guys, I'm here, you know, hit me please, because that's not gonna happen. Then they should ignore you if they play better game of Dota. So the jumping part, the initiating part is your job in this game. And the saving part with your ultimate.
Bernardi, I made the guild its Luxembourg region. Is it good or bad?
You need to invite people.
Yeah, I am inviting everyone actually.
Okay.
Like individually inviting.
Pog. I will join.
Will you join? Okay.
I will. I will.
Join, then ping me. I'll make you the leader. Then you
Uh,
make changes as you like.
Okay. Thank you, Obocon.
Also, you should be slightly noticing of the Slark, because what if Slark has the Shadow Blade? Like,
Right.
you need to know
Yeah.
his item build. Because otherwise you are not allowed to do this play of farming this camp. Like, either you need to have Sentry there, or you need to know which items has the Slark, or you need to see him on the map, otherwise you're
Yeah.
not allowed.
This is an app that you constantly need to have on Dota. Like you need to constantly be checking people's items.
Like, checking anything that can kill you at least.
For example, if Slark has a silver edge, like it slightly hurts you. Or even BKB, it's important to know.
Again, the dust, because now, like, imagine if you dusted him, now, like, the Voker is gonna be even more scared. Because it stays on him, and now, like, he doesn't know, you know, like, there is a chance that they might kill him thanks to that. Like, it's always good, like, it's 80 gold, you know, who cares? Might win you the game or the fight or stuff.
Was scarcely worth my notice.
Like, it wouldn't last this long, so it would be, like, wasted 80 gold right now, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's worth every single time, it's worth.
You buy it for the slow?
For the slow, yes, but here it would be mainly for making him
The Ghost
uninvis.
Walk?
Yeah, make
Yeah,
him uninvis. Because then he needs, like, what if he's stunned? Then he has no escape. Like, once Mirana hits arrow, for example, in that fight, now he has no escape, because if he goes invis, he's gonna be dusted by your dust, and he has no
But
other
what if he
purge, like,
didn't
has-
have Invis? Would you still suggest just dusting people who don't have mobility?
It doesn't slow them unless they have some invisibility. Like, it slows
Oh.
only people that are in invis form, so they need to have some invis. So Slark, Shadowblade, Voker, Ghost, but Slark, for example, Slark is one of the heroes that even though he has one invis, like Shadowblade usually, it's not that effective like Dust on him, because he can purge it with Q. But that's very, like, exceptional. Usually any other invis is it's worth. So at the last second when you're about to die, you're gonna just press the dust. It's cool. Also, you can preemptively dust, by the way, in some games, in most games. When they don't buy BKB, you can preemptively dust usually.
Yeah, this fight is crazy.
Yeah, because like it basically it will out invis them like preemptively, which means there will be no like time when they are in invis form, so it's easier to target stuff. He cannot dodge projectile spells and blah blah blah, and it immediately slows them and stuff like that. So I very recommend to like do these preemptive dusts as well.
Oh, you actually built a Tarask. Okay.
Is there any other item that beats?
I think Lotus is super good this game.
Yeah, I would take over the inner triangle. Nice, you're doing that. Also, press the jungle item again if you have the. Oh, you have this one. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. I'd say Lotus is super good this game. What else is really good?
Tower's under attack.
I need to think. I always need to look at the items.
Only 3 players are alive, right? And 1 guy was bottom, right? So this was the time I wouldn't take ancients because I need my HP, right?
Oh, not good.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go rather for the big camp, rather, and or like be near one of my guys to like help him jump him in case they go on him.
Tower.
But if you feel like they're not gonna go on him, I would rather take the big camp than the ancients. It's for the reasons that the big camp is like more dangerous to be in that position in next few seconds when they respawn. And it does it's like further like once you don't get it, if you don't get that big camp right now, it will mean that you will not get that big camp and anytime like after that because it's just too near their towers and they're gonna respawn.
Yeah, and
It might seem
actually he wasted the blade mail on the ancients too.
yeah, and the other reason is you had like too low amount of HP there, so I wouldn't go for the ancients just because if it stops me from like being able to help my teammates, I wouldn't lose like my HPs for that. Like I would rather
And you
give
think it
enemies.
stopped me from helping my teammates there? I thought that was.
Yeah, it stops you. Like if you have 35% HP, like it will stop you from helping them.
Yeah, and for example, here you don't have the blade mail because you use it on the ancients. I think it's okay.
Yeah, but the blade mail's cooldown is not that long.
Yeah, but it didn't have versus Lark. Right now, for example, you jump here. So if you have blade mail, he's probably not allowed to hit you like that. It's gonna at least hurt him.
That's true,
Yeah.
but like also imagine if
I
you
think
had
he
more
dies
HP, right?
anyways, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but like
You're like
Alright, guess he
securing
doesn't
that
die.
area. Like those ancients, they might be for your teammates. Like if they don't take it, it's their fault. Like I would go rather aggressive the big camp. And
But who's my teammates?
yeah, Terrorblade was bottom, I think, right here.
Triple was bottom. But even if they don't take the ancient camp, I would say it's not the way to do this because I would rather want more HPs in order they, you know, so I can help my teammates in order something happens. Because right now you guys are hitting 2 towers on 2 lanes, right? And 3 guys are alive. What if somebody like initiates on your Terrorblade? Because Terrorblade doesn't have like escape mechanic and blah blah blah. I don't even have to like talk about this because like the simplistic form is I would rather take anytime you're not sure, I would rather be always ready to join, like to support my team rather than get one more camp. Like if you're not sure, I would always go for the helping the like being able to help the team. And with this low amount of HP, you almost die to Slark. Like why to risk it, right? Like for one ancient camp, I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah. You got the rest now? Yep. Yeah, you probably like I'm actually seeing that you're having some mana problems here. Like you're sometimes out of mana because Blade Mail uses mana, the first spell is mana, the ulti uses a lot of mana. Like if you press your first spell and your ulti, then it's more than half of your mana gone. So I really think that Magic Wand would add up for you. Because they cast kind of a good amount of spells, and then you can sustain your mana through that.
Yeah.
But I mean, buy on the early game.
In almost every game, like the stick is one of the most valuable items on almost any hero. And in this game, I would go full wand even on Centaur. They have Walker that bursts your mana. And you will always be in position when he will cast that on you. Absolutely freely. So yeah, wand and yeah. Also,
What is
like,
Vand?
Oh,
Magic
the
wand.
Magic Wand is here.
Oh, wand.
Yeah.
Yeah, wand. And and some details like sell the Quelling Blade, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'd say that like wand is one of the most like it's one of those items that you buy early into the game and keep almost through the entire game, unless you're 6 slotted, which very often doesn't happen when you're offline. Uh oh. Yeah, this guy smells like Smurf to me. His spell casting is really good. He's probably a Smurf.
He bought BKB, so yeah.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack. Come on, oh, Radiant's top
Like,
Oh, actually,
absolutely.
Nix is asking. Yeah.
It's like that song. Womp womp.
Yeah, that like counters you.
Nuke, nuke.
Because he basically your goal in this game is to like preferably stun the Evoker, right? And he bought BKB versus you, so
Middle tower is under attack.
Bog Diggers.
it's not only versus you, but it's versus your team, like versus all of the stunners.
Yeah.
The
So
guy you can jump on is like the Shaman if he stuns somebody, but that's about it. Or Patch if he hooks and ults, but yeah, mainly the Evoker. That's your job.
Tire's top tower is under attack.
I wouldn't go this route again for the reasons of Slark. Like we need to know his items, and even then it's kind of.
oh, good. Paid off.
So 2 players are dead. The Valkyrie is dead. So again, I would be like farming more aggressively near my Terrorblade probably.
I think the prism is better for you. If no one is using it, I would take it. Like it gives 12 on every attribute. Like I said, you have some on a problem, so it helps with that too. And your spells, like you have a long cooldown spell, which is your ulti, and all those spells are really good to have some reduction to. Oh, actually, you're warding now.
Yeah, my Wraith King is the position 5.
Oh, who's the mid? Is Mirana?
No, it's Nyx.
What?
Yeah, like right now I would buy smoke and just kill them top. So in this scenario, if you rewind like 1 minute,
Yes, sir.
so here is the situation when you guys have like last Raxis, right? And where would you say is like the place where your team can farm if it's not gonna be only on high ground, defending high ground? When would you say your team would farm? Like is allowed to farm? What do you think?
Thank you for the follow, Big Zoo.
It is
You're gonna have
based
to
on.
say that.
Welcome.
When do you think your team is allowed to farm? Like, is it like where is it? What is it based on? What do you think?
Well, obviously being on the high ground would be easier to farm on.
Yeah, like on your high ground, that's for sure. But is there some other place, or you think you guys only are allowed to farm high ground?
Probably inside the base at this point.
So that's one choice, but I would say you guys are still allowed to even farm outside of base. But you guys have basically 2 choices: either constantly farm on the opposite side where the enemy team isn't, which is right now like bot and just ignoring it, or saying, oh, we are stronger than that, we are stronger than just defending our base or being on the opposite side of the map, and we actually can take over some area where we have advantage and we can fight them there, which would be if you can show him the triangle. Because like this triangle, you guys have like the high ground advantage here as well. It's like one of the reasons, and also it's like pretty like secure from wards and everything. So I would think of myself, we are not like that behind. It's 41, 48, let's say, or whatever, and maybe we might even fight here, like from high ground to low ground if they go on us. So I would like sentry this area, like those two sentries, and maybe like stay in that area. And also I would buy like smokes because I saw them like being dispersed. Like one guy was mid and the other guys, all of them were top. So that was like your chance to like here smoke up and kill either 4 guys or the one of the on mid.
Yeah, I'd say if your team is in position in here, you guys probably kill this Slark or even those that are coming. Look at that. Like they come for your Wraith King. Right now, if you guys are in position, like ready to fight, like they're split. Like Shadow Shaman's not even close.
Yeah, so like even if you rewind like 30 seconds here or 45, you will like see it even better. Even more. Just rewind. Okay, where is the Centaur? Okay, now he's top. Okay, he rewinded too much, but yeah. Where is the Centaur right now? Can you show the Centaur?
Yeah.
So you think I'm
He's
I
here.
will tell the
keeping up
exact
with
moment
my
and
farm
goodbye.
too much?
Okay, here you were there, that's all fine, right? And now I would be like walking back, right? I would check the smokes if there's 2 in the shop. And right now I would definitely like want to buy it. I would definitely want to buy it because my whole team is grouped up except one guy.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're farming too much, Crush. I think your farm can be more efficient. Like you can farm the same amount that you do and have way more impact in the
Can
game.
you pause?
Yes, yeah.
So 4150, 4150 I would have the smoke. Right now I would have the smoke ready in my inventory. And do you see how everybody is like very grouped up? Like it would be simple to like just click it, like ping it, and they will just group up near you on the mid, definitely, right?
Only
Yeah.
abandons me in
And
an
then you can
83
decide
minutes
to either
game.
like
Don't party with him.
take over the triangle and fight on triangle, or kill the patch because you see them all or 2 players at top, or they will just ignore your smoke. In which case your turtle blade will go bottom farm and
Thank you for the follow,
very
Arpa Hallyu.
let's not
Welcome.
defend the triangle. Let's only dodge them and farm on the opposite side of the map, and we're gonna defend high ground, and that's it. But you made the call of the smoke, right? Like you at least made it, and I wouldn't say you guys are super behind. And yeah, taking advantages like that would be pretty cool here. I wouldn't say it's like 0-40. Like they are
Even
not
though
winning
they're
that much. Like,
9,000 gold up?
yeah, that's true. I know, but like still, like if they are split, you can come up with. In worst case, it's like, what is it? Like you guys wasted smoke. Like nobody's using it in your bracket anyways. Like who cares? Like what will you guys
Yeah,
lose?
there's 2 slots. There's 2 available.
Like nothing. Like it gives you movement speed and it gives you invisibility for all your teams. So.
You think this should be a thing that I should pull into every single lane that I go into?
But like you see that scenario, right? Everybody's group up like this, and you have opportunity to do something with it.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, okay.
It's like
Almost
even
every
as-
game, it means that probably if there's smoke available, so you probably want to use them because it's like 2 good
Definitely.
resource.
Yeah, it's same with your sentries. Like you're buying sentries because nobody's buying them, just so it doesn't get wasted, and so we take over some area because you know how important it is probably. But in Dota, there's also the smokes, so smokes are on the similar basis. So definitely go for the smokes. Do it right now. If Terrorblade doesn't want to go and wants to just farm bottom, it's fine. So you guys smoked and at least pressure the patch, right? So he's not there, and then you fall back and defend high ground if you don't want to like do something crazy. Like you don't have to, right? Easy. Plus, if you buy the smoke, you have more like privileges to maybe people listen to your call instead of theirs because you're the guy that bought the smoke or something, so you might have like more leadership like value for them,
Yeah.
especially if you combine it. Like if you know it preemptively, it's so valuable, like to know stuff preemptively, like seeing, guys, I have smoke, let's smoke and let's go here. Because if you tell it to them like in this one sentence like this, then they will combine it of like, oh, we're not only like gonna listen to you to go near you to smoke, but we also gonna go to places where you want to go, not where we randomly want to go. Like to combine it together, it's valuable. Cause like if they listen to you one time, why wouldn't they listen to you second time, right? Easy.
Mm-hmm.
if you like split that goal and say let's smoke, and after 20 seconds you say let's go here, it's not gonna work. They're gonna be all over the places, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, there's this smoke call. But I think you asked like if you should farm less. I think like you could have like 1 million times where you could have like the same farm you had, but more efficiently or putting more pressure somewhere. For example, when you decided to hit this ancient here at the 20 minutes, I think, instead of shoving the wave. So like if you prioritize the wave, like whenever people are showing and you have the opportunity to shove it, just do it because you're creating pressure on the map, you're granting vision. There's like 1 million benefits. Like and the camp is not gonna run away from you. You can always farm it before after the wave. For example, another way we could do efficiently, like cutting the waves on the offlane. Like when the tower was up, you could cut the wave because you farm both the camp and the wave. So this is a small efficiency where you could have the same farm but wasting less time. And actually putting more pressure on the map. For example, when you cut the wave, you're putting pressure on the tower. So you take the tower fast.
Yeah.
So there's small examples where you can farm as much as you farm it or even more. But it's a aggressive farm, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we can like watch.
Other than that, like I think like the farming, it's fine. Like it's no problem to like farm instead of like I want to do something. It's more maybe about like where to farm or whatever. Because I love when the top and mid is being shoved. Like even though Terrorblade should have done it, he's not doing it, so I would do it instead of him, and then I would TP bottom for that fight. Like that one scenario that we mentioned. Like
Yeah, I think the game is
pretty
over
much
now.
like every game like this. Yeah.
Actually, the game wasn't over.
Oh, it wasn't.
Came back right there.
What?
Yeah.
I know, but I wanna watch that. Did they die on the fountain or what?
No. I think one person did.
I'm sorry for disbelieving on you.
No, I actually thought it was pretty fucked at that moment too.
Yeah, correct. Focus of target. It's Walker that needs to die.
There we go.
Actually, the way this game ends is actually pretty crazy. We might have actually almost won. I think we played it pretty well up until the end, actually.
Oh, you guys fight Roshan. Okay, this is not how I expected the game to end.
Also about the Crimson,
Yeah, I think it's too late for Crimson.
I think that item is not that strong. Like I feel that item is like mainly built like it blocks some sort of damage. You know, like it blocks some amount of damage. So it's good versus like lots of units, for example, because units deal usually small amount of damage. So it's not like for like against physical damage dealers or whatever. It's more about like more units, heroes.
Yeah.
So like Lycan has the summons, or Beastmaster has summons, or
Illusions is good too.
like yeah, illusions maybe, you know, stuff like that. Like not these guys. Like these guys don't have those things. So don't buy Crimson versus those guys.
Yeah, I'd say that Lotus is a must go this game. For the reason that
Like, you saw the Hex all the time, and there's Shaman, and there is the patch which basically counters his ultimate. Definitely Lotus.
yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that we're talking about. Like I think you can start using the quick buy tip like for the TPs and the items in general. I think you can like figure out what type of lane you're playing. For example, you were trading a lot of auto attacks, so if you want to trade a lot of auto attacks, just go things that enables you to trade a lot of auto attacks. So go bracers, go phase boots early. Like
yeah, but I wouldn't even focus on the like bracers, phase boots, and stuff like that much, because your build was the like main line of like its energizes, you know, like not gonna know this stuff. Like it's too advanced in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like I would rather go the mainline items on every single hero, and then only when I'm super certain what to buy else than that, then I would buy it. I would more focus on the push of the catapult wave, how Bernard did said. I would focus on killing the top and then tipping bottom. I would focus on buying buying items when I have gold. I would focus on buying the TPs, using it more. Wand was cool idea, or at least stick for most games, like in mid game
Yeah, the smokes.
for sure. Yeah, some opportunities because you played League, right? So this will be real helpful because you will manage, right? You will definitely manage after 7 years of MOBA game. You will manage to like realize that, oh, I might be doing I should do something more, right? And you're gonna smoke in cases when the opportunity comes. So smoke definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dusts for versus Invis hero, even preemptively or right after you die, both are cool.
Right before you die.
Yeah,
You cannot get dust dead.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of stuff. Like, if you think this helps you, Clutch?
Yeah, the smaller macro stuff I think helps. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not really trying to play position 3 anyways. Like, I want to play position 1, but it always feels like nobody wants to, like, drag the game out long enough for me to do anything.
Yeah, I'd say that, like, well, there's some stuff that we talk about which you can apply for position 1 too. Like, for example, the idea of pressuring lanes instead of FK farming jungle. This is important. Like you can have this on your head. Like, if there's a wave coming to me and I'm not afraid to die there, then the answer is probably shove it before the camp. You can always do that. You see that you have more impact when you do this because, like I said, the creeps give you vision, the creeps create pressure, the creeps make people rotate to where they don't want to be because they need to defend their tower. The creeps create pressure on the map so you can farm more camps. So there's a lot of implications that whenever you shove a wave instead of farming a jungle camp, it has a lot implications on your farm in the long term. You know, so whenever you choose to farm the wave first, you're actually being more efficient, both in terms of money and map pressure and everything.
Yeah, in this replay there was actually more like advanced stuff actually than like the basic ones, because like to realize that you shouldn't like go to base like because you already bought like 2 rings, I would say it's still like advanced because like you need to know what those stuff actually does for you. It's not like the main line. You actually need to know what those rings does for you in order for you to know that, oh, I'm gonna regen up enough and I shouldn't go to base to heal for mana. It's just not
Yeah.
and
And
instead
that
I go
specific one wasn't like I wasn't even unconsciously walking back to the base. Like, I was really, for a good moment there, I was debating whether or not, because I know that, like, walking back is, like, taboo in Dota or whatever. So,
yeah.
But I had a premonition, you know, like, I just felt unsafe. Then I needed to go back to base.
Yeah, exactly.
And I knew that Slurk was just going to sit in the wave and he's not going to push it or whatever, because it's like, it's almost even. And so he's going to trade deny or whatever. So I thought that I could just leave, teleport, and then come back and then shove the wave in.
Yeah, and in Dota, how to solve this? Like if he freezes it, is there a solution for it? If he
Doesn't seem like it. Freezing is really easy in this game.
So he freezes it, and you need to pull it because you need to pull
pull the aggro by attacking somebody, right?
Yeah, pull like
you pull the camp.
Big camp, like hitting the big camp, like the jungle big camp, the
oh yeah
stereo line, and pull it toward drag it towards your minions. What's gonna happen is it basically destroys his freeze. Now his creeps will go near you, like near your tower and everything is gonna be good. Like in League, you cannot do that. Like in Dota,
Yeah.
you can like fuck up enemy freeze pretty easily. That's why like it's not that often used. Like the freeze is not that often used in Dota.
Do you think freezing is a good tool in general, though, in Dota?
What is freezing,
Yeah,
guys?
it is. It
Like,
is.
I'm talking about
But
specific, because like
freezing is
in
like
some of my
staling the
games,
wave.
I literally just like when the enemy laner leaves or whatever, and just like I don't know, goes to jungle or whatever, I will literally just like micromanage my wave and just sit at like the tower and stay there for 10 minutes or whatever, and I'm just like whatever. I'm just gonna keep
Yeah.
farming a wave every 5, 10, 15 seconds or whatever.
That depends, because it depends on like mainly like 3 factors, I would say. Like one is what is more beneficial for me, to like play the like farming game of getting as much camps as possible, or is it beneficial for me that I'm still not allowed to do this, like to stale it, to freeze it, and also am I strong enough to kill his tower? Like am I the guy that should like
But are
already
towers
like
even that
move
worth
the
in this
game
game?
forward? It's always worth like to get towers without
Aren't they like
dying.
90 gold?
It's not for the gold, it's more for the space on the map, because once you kill
True.
it, now they cannot TP there. Now they, you just get the camps.
True,
You
true.
get the space and billion other stuff. Like really, there's billion other stuff.
Yeah, like I'd say that like the money is like the less important part of the tower.
Yeah, it's the last part of tower. But
So you think it's worth it? Like,
so
would it be worth it to shove a turret to the point where it's at execution range and just let them last hit it or whatever, so long as it goes down?
Yeah, yeah. If you can get the last hit, it's fine. But
No. I mean, like,
if they can deny it,
if
then
they're gonna commit,
probably not.
so you should let it stay up.
Well, you're asking like too advanced, and I am not sure if I should answer it for you. But if it's
It's a
if
judgment
you
call.
shove it in, and it's gonna be in a deny range because of that, and you cannot contest the last hit, I would probably not do it. But it again, it also needs to be like usually this doesn't usually happen, but it also needs to be in consideration of, does it slow you from your farming? Like, are you being like locked down on that lane just because you didn't shove it? Because sometimes it's still like worth, because that doesn't because then it doesn't slow you from farming further another camps in jungle or helping somebody and stuff like that. Like it doesn't lock you down. Or for example, you will feel threatened if you don't shove it immediately, and then somebody might kill you while you're like waiting and chilling just because you don't want to get the tower in the night range. But those things, they almost don't happen in Dota. Like they don't happen. Like if you're scared of Lazy the tower, then you're probably scared of even shoving that wave into him. Like, and yeah, a billion other stuff. So yeah, so for example, I can give you one example when I wouldn't when I would rather freeze it than shoving it in, and that is that I don't have enough items and levels to kill a jungle camp. That's one thing. Second thing, for example, that happens a lot is if there's no jungle camps near me, anyways, because the enemy carry or enemy opponent that I laned against already killed that camp, and it didn't spawn yet,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna spawn. So those are two main reasons why to not do it. For example.
yeah,
Is there a
There are
difference
more
between
reasons.
farming the jungle and farming the lane is just XP? Doesn't the jungle give you more gold overall if you farm it versus, but if you sit in a wave?
no, it doesn't, because
Or I
like
mean more XP.
like what happens with the creep jungle if you don't farm them?
What happens if you don't farm them?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they not level up or something?
No, they don't they don't die. They will be there. But what happens if you don't farm the wave? So
Then they'll die.
they will die. Yes. So actually, the most efficient is like farming the wave and the camp. This is the most efficient. So and actually, it's both in terms of pressure in the map, because like you're not pressuring any part of the map if you're killing jungle creeps. Like unless you're farming their jungle creeps.
So then freezing isn't a good idea.
He's like telling you that the spawn rate in Dota in neutral, like in jungle, is like 1 minute. So the goal
Yeah.
is to preferably kill it every single minute. Like at some point at that 1 minute you need to
Right, but
kill
you're
it. Otherwise it's not
definitely. I
gonna spawn.
mean, the stage at which you're killing stuff every minute and then going to farm a wave, you're going to be missing out on quite a few minions if you don't just stay in the wave. Right?
Depends on the hero.
Not really, and depends on like the speeds and everything. But there's some like the wave spawns every 30 seconds, so you basically have 30 seconds to kill the wave, and let's say 35 maybe, because 43
But that's
or
like
whatever.
less because there's probably 2 waves every like on the map.
It's 33.
Because
It's
it
always
spawns in
30
35 seconds and then it walks, right?
Yeah, but let's say it's approximately 30 seconds. Like, so in that time, you basically need to secure to kill the lane creeps and jungle or whatever, camp or whatever, something like that. So yeah, like
I don't know. It just feels like whenever I play and whenever I freeze inside of a wave and just sit there for, I don't know, 5 minutes, I have way more levels, but maybe not less, maybe less gold. It feels like I have way more level than gold, way more XP than gold whenever I'm not farming the jungle and I'm just sitting in a wave.
Yeah, but there's another situation where you want to freeze. It's like because for example, if the wave is shoved into you, especially when you position 1, because you're playing the safe lane, so you're afraid to die, so you don't want to play like under the enemy tower. So this is why you don't shove, because otherwise you push the wave and you're afraid to die, right? So this is one more reason. But like what I was going to say is that like whenever you never like farm the wave is gonna push into you because the enemy will push eventually, and then you will be afraid to farm even the camps, the neutral camps, because the enemy shoved the wave, he did his job, so he has free time to invade your jungle or do something else. Because while you need to defend the tower. What are you going to say, Sinners?
I think he was saying mainly about like when to not freeze, right?
Yep.
Were you like asking like the differentiation between those two plays, right? Freezing and not freezing, right? Clutch.
Kind of. It was more like because you guys were saying that
Yeah.
you should freeze, but like you should also farm the camps.
It,
And I don't really
it
see how you
depends.
can maintain a freeze while you're farming the camps.
I don't think I was saying this. I was like saying that there are some situations when you should freeze rather than farming lane and the camp at the same time. I don't think you can freeze and farm the camp at the same time. Usually, it's almost not possible. So in
Yeah,
this,
unless you're playing some illusion hero or something like that.
yeah, exactly. Like you're not gonna have enough time to do that. But there are some like things you can like mess around this. Meaning, for example, you can freeze for a few seconds and then you shove it
Here,
in
wait,
order
wait.
to be ready.
Can I show you guys exactly what I'm talking about?
Sure.
There's like million scenarios like how you can play it out.
I'm gonna share my screen. This is a game I played as AM earlier, and this is what I do a lot. Is how do you go? Do you guys know how to go back 15 seconds? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there. Also, there's like play of it's every minute, right? In jungle camp. So what you can do, you can freeze one wave, and the second wave you're gonna shove, and then you kill the jungle creeps, or you stack them and kill it. You know, there's like many options how you're gonna play this out. It's all about like recognizing the situation. What's the like how to play it out. Like that's all it is.
Can I see your items? There's something covered.
Yeah, usually this is not good. Like
Okay.
usually this is not good. That's why like in League this is very good play in League, right? But in Dota in mid game it's almost never ever good. Like this thing, almost never ever, almost. Because it's always beneficial to shove it into them because you can always, in worst case, you can fix it by pulling the jungle camp into your creeps. So it's never worth like this thing, almost ever.
So you think I should just shove it and then go farm a jungle and then wait for it to bounce back?
You should shove it, then
When
farm
do you
the
think
big
the
camp,
patch
and
is
then
going to
pull
be
the small
released?
camp. or jungling.
I think today or tomorrow.
Stay lane anyway.
I'd say today or tomorrow, guys.
So what's gonna happen is you're gonna get all the lane creeps, then you're gonna get big camp, and then you're still gonna get another waves on the lane anyways because you pulled your creeps towards you.
Yeah, I'd say that like after mid game, like after laning stage, because it's already 15 minutes, so the laning stage is almost over. So people are just like fighting around the map. People are doing something else, and actually you're almost only allowed to do something else, like fight or farm creep jungle. Like I would have this rule, like I only farm creep jungle or fight or something if both, like if I have two waves shoved, because like it creates advantage for people on the map. Because let's say you're just freezing the lane there, so it means that you're constantly showing on the map, right? So enemies actually know where you are. And so it's easier for them to gank you. It's easier for them to fight your teammates, because they know they probably have a 4v5 situation. So there's a lot of
Right, but that's why I set it up really close to the turret, so I can just immediately walk out if I know that people are coming.
Yeah, but then they can gank your teammates because they know the 4v5.
Yep. It's like they're gonna kill your other two lanes basically because they constantly see you on lane that is not being pressured towards them. So they're gonna basically control 3 lanes instead of only 2 if they are winning, which is pretty sucks. And in League it sucks as well, but point is that like it's good in League sometimes for the reasons that it cannot be solved and they rather prioritize like the carry farming over them losing like 2 lanes or something. But in Dota, it usually almost never ever happens. Like this scenario, it happened to me maybe like 2 times that I wanted to freeze it. It was that I didn't have literally any item on myself.
Yeah.
And in that case, I don't care because I cannot farm jungle anyways, so I just rather freeze it near my tower and just lose all 3 lanes than just like push it into it and then not farming anything.
Yeah.
So anti-mage can farm even without battle fury, like the jungle creeps as well every 30 seconds. Like you only need like threats and that's it for farming both.
Yeah. And actually, we can think of a scenario like what happens if you shove that wave? Like instead of like freezing, what happens if you farm it fast?
Somebody comes to pick it up.
Somebody comes to pick up. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Why would I want them to pick it up? I don't want them to have that.
But actually, you want.
If you can self-deny and then just let them come in to make you make the way, like I don't know. That's just like where my league brain is going. Is like this shit is stuck here until somebody comes up and stops me, you know.
Yeah.
And if somebody comes up and stops me, they die because we got our team, you know. Because the turret my turret's already gone. I'm at my tier 2, so like my team should be like in the jungle on high ground farming the jungle, and I should be just sitting in that lane and just eating that wave every wave that comes. That's what I think.
That's another bonus. Like that's why I said there is actually a play of they gonna get the 1 wave or like let's say 2 waves that they gonna be thrown like into their tower. That's true, but then you can pull the next one. So then they need to decide. Oh fuck, there's no creeps now. We're gonna wait for let's say I don't know 20 seconds here and do nothing, or we gonna go somewhere else. You know, and then now they need to decide, and you're wasting their time even more. And now it's like the time where it's kind of already like okay for you to do it because you basically made perfect block, right? Imagine it as actually you cannot even imagine it as blocking because in League there's also not blocking. Well, basically they not gonna have creeps there for a lot of seconds because you pulled it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, they gonna get like 1 wave, but they like TP there for it, or they gonna get 1.5 wave or something like that. They TP for it, and now they are like waiting and doing nothing. And you're farming now more. Like imagine that. It's not that we didn't do it for the reasons of we did do this for the reasons of now we are gaining more, right? Now we got big camp and small camp as bonus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like more farm for you, and you're trading it for average farm for the enemy.
Yeah.
And pressure, of course, and the pressure.
It also depends a lot of on your lineup, you know. because some heroes doesn't have like waves of shoving. This can change things. But like I said, whenever you shove the wave into them, you're actually creating a situation where you can fight somewhere else. For example, not AM is not the hero that wants to fight, for example, but if you're playing on a hero that can also join your team, for example, you're creating a number advantage. So you can actually group up with your team, and because you know someone, you might have forced someone to TP bottom to defend or something like that. Your teammates are allowed to get good fights and
Yeah,
objectives.
there's lots of like mobility in Dota, and by forcing somebody to TP somewhere, he cannot go on the other side of the map basically. So,
Yeah, because
very
it's like a
beneficial.
cooldown.
Yeah,
Okay.
but all of your team can. That's the point. Like they still have the TPs to go there, but the guy that TP'd like to bottom in this case wouldn't have the TP on top. Like that's important to know.
Okay. I have one question.
Go ahead.
I play a lot of Clinks, right?
Mhm.
And, I don't really like playing in mid lane because I get really shot on by Smurfs who play mid a lot and stuff like that, and Broodmother and stuff I don't like to play against. So I like to play safe lane Clinks. But people still like to drag Dragon Knight down into bot lane, and I gotta know, how do I beat Dragon Knight? Because I can't stand Dragon Knight. It's just impossible.
Far more probably, because
Yeah.
he has just too much regen. Think of him as
He just
tank, so
abuses me, though. Like, he
Well-
just...
by regen probably, and sustain and farm more than him because he's
Right,
not
but-
farming more than you.
Yeah, but then he denies me, too. Because his auto
that's
attacks
true.
are so fast. And Klinkses are so slow early game. It just
Yeah.
feels so doomed.
Yeah, you need to use your searing arrows to flash it. This
I
is
do, but it's so
Yeah.
slow. Like, I have to be far away, right? But Dragonite can
Yeah.
stand in the wave because he literally takes no damage, and I can't deal damage to him because if I try and attack him, I'm like the minions are gonna get pulled, and then he's gonna take no damage, and I'm gonna start taking more damage by the minions. And I don't know, man. It feels like the worst matchup in the world.
Yeah, it's kind of a matchup dependent, but like probably in your team, this is not the job for you to queue during the game. Like this sometimes will happen. But
Yeah, but probably I would go the item that gives me the damage, so I have more damage than his right click, so he doesn't deny it from me. So the blades of attack or whatever gives you damage. I would go on him. I don't know if he's going phase boost, probably not, right? But still, like some item that gives you the damage might be cool. And yeah, the searing arrows, as Bernardi said, like you need to have more damage than him because he has disadvantage. Like he
he's
needs to
melee.
deny.
Yeah,
So
he's
like
melee.
yeah, he's melee, yeah, but like well that's actual advantage for him if he's melee. Usually the melees have
Yeah, it's easier
more
to last hit. Yeah.
damage. Yeah. So, but the point is that the deny is always disadvantage because on deny they cannot use spells, but you can. So you might have more damage usually than people that deny. So yeah, try to have as high damage as possible so you will reach that more damage than him on the deny or last hit. And once you do that and it's still not enough, probably the matchup probably sucks, I guess, because you cannot kill him because he has too much HP, like regen or whatever. You cannot farm there. Then don't be in that lane. Like
Like
be in some other lane.
I have one more
Or,
tip. I have one more tip.
Yeah.
Dragon Knight usually gets like strong by the level 3 if he goes for the 2 points on third spell. So basically it depends on your support, but you wanna bully him on the early levels. He doesn't do anything at level 1 or 2.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And actually if links you don't drag aggro with the searing arrows. So you wanna bully him at the early levels.
Yeah, that's very true. Like
Do
it's
I buy
similar
like
to
Fairy
Triple.
Fire or something? Like what is like the...
Yeah, maybe the Fairy Fire or something like that. Exactly. Like the more damage
But doesn't Fairy Fire only give you 2 damage?
it gives, but it's still.
I
one
don't
of the
understand
most-
like why that's like a good... It seems like a waste of money to me.
It's good, like Fair Fire is good to bait people, like if they think you're gonna die, then you could heal yourself.
branches or item from Raid Band or whatever.
Yeah.
All might be okay.
Is like
Even
a Wraith
though-
Band start a good...
It's not because it doesn't give you the most. Like because the way how it works is usually like the cheaper items have the highest value ratio.
Tá feia a coisa,
Yeah.
ó. Tá feia a coisa, mano.
So it's better to buy the smaller items more than full raid band, and it gives usually more damage.
Hmm.
So like if you consider like how many branches could you buy for 500 gold that the raid band cost? You know, you can buy like 10 of them, right? So it's
So
10
it's
damage,
like,
right?
so should you always have like,
So
should you be 6 slotted every start of the game?
it's recommended, but you cannot like you cannot go like 6 raid bands, right? Because you're gonna sell them very
Yeah,
soon.
but I saw like Bernard earlier had like 3 branches.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
understand why he had that.
Oh, I was playing
Mango
mid.
game.
I was playing mid, so I wanted to drop my branches to eat with tangos. So that's this part.
Yeah, so you would buy 3 branches just to eat for 3 tangos?
No, just because I'm
400.
building. Yeah. So because my math is like I want to drop one to eat, and the other 2 are for building the magic one. This was my math.
Yeah, okay.
So if you don't want to buy like magic one because it's not game for it, then you can still go the items from the raid band, right? And then let's say those fairy fires for or whatever, you know, like that might work, you know. Or some people just go like set items from raid band and then they go quelling blade. But since you're a range, you know, probably the build would be the fairy fires seemed okay.
Multiple fairy fires.
I'm not sure if
I'd say that like like the strategy I told you is like to bully Dragon Knight on the early level. So like what do you need to do to bully him? You need to have your singing arrows. So like it's the same strategy as Raw. I see people like buy 1 or 2 mangoes and just keep the pressure on the early levels. Like they buy mangoes so they can spam their spells. So it's just like the same for Draw Ranger. Just because it's so strong, you can bully people out of the lane because it doesn't aggro the creeps. So I see people leaving with 1 mango, and then there's the items for the like 1 set of tangles and the rest in items for wraith bands.
Because normally I go the mana one, whatever the hell that thing's called, the flask, not the
clarity.
bottle.
Yeah, clarity. But I guess like you shouldn't go that because you have to like sit out a lane for a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
And you want to keep the pressure on Dragon Knight.
Clarity is more valuable like in like mid game when you don't encounter enemies, because then you clarity yourself it's worth than any other mana item and you're just jungling with it. Also it's worth on lanes when they don't have like spell that they can throw at you.
Or supports.
When they don't have or for supports that don't like meet the lane that often because they constantly pulling or whatever. So there are some like lanes when they cannot attack you. Let's say patch, right? Like versus patch, you actually can sometimes go for clarity because like of course you need to take into
because you're just sitting back.
Yeah, because
and
like
waiting to hook.
Yeah, he doesn't like damage you at all ever. And some other heroes, you know, there are some heroes that you can buy clarity later, but on carries usually don't go for clarities ever, because melee carries you're gonna counter even the patch sometimes because you're gonna go for assets, right? And yeah, like usually I almost never ever had option for me to go for clarity like ever as carry. Only when I already transitioned towards jungling, or if I kill them all and somebody clarityed me for that brief moment or something. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Alright, that seems pretty good.
I hope this helps. I mean, there's a lot of information. There's even Clink's information that we gave you.
Yeah, it's.
But this is really matchup specific. So yeah, I think you might try to like maybe next time you want to send a Clink's replay where you try to bully Dragon Knight at your levels. I don't know.
Alright, will do.
Oh,
and then one quick little question: is there like a website to see like matchup pick or like counter picks? Because
Oh.
it feels like I get counter picked a lot, and I don't know what website that is to be used.
There's a bot on Discord. It's not like that complete, but you can use those. Like it's the Mango bot, the Mango bot, the Lonely bot, and the Boda bot. It's in the robots channel. You can use there.
And they have like
You can use the helps from them. I think the Lonely bot. I'm gonna type it there right now. So there's this common here, for example, counter, Dragon Knight. So for example, the highest win rate heroes versus Dragon Knight are like Underlord. Oh, sorry. By win rate. Yeah, it's Underlord, Arc Warden, Clinks.
Also, I was thinking about the freeze again, and I came up with another reasons why it is the case in Dota and it's not in League. It's for the reasons that the carry player in Dota, he can actually TP to other lanes as well. So let's say you guys are losing all 3 lanes, right? So if you guys are losing all lanes, it means that creeps are pushed into in all lanes, or let's say on 2 lanes or whatever minimum. So what you can sometimes do is actually shove the lane that you're currently in and TP to the other lane, while your team is creating space for you and trying to win the last lane or whatever. So you're like the shover, but you're not like I don't want to fight guys, but I want to do the most aggressive play possible. But in League, you usually are not allowed to do that because you're gonna go to some lane and then you have maybe like the one teleport spell, but usually it's not used like that, right? Yeah. And second reason why it's still good to shove it in, you still can sometimes decide to deny some of the creeps that were left. You still can sometimes decide to deny it, and you can be denying it why it's being pushed into them. So it's still gonna deny them the experience and everything.
Okay,
Sometimes.
so Clutch, I'm sending you 3 links. Like one of them is the Dota 2 wiki. It's like Wikipedia. So there's a lot of matchups there, which you can talk about. There's the threats overlay that you can download. So basically, the threats helps you suggesting what's a good pick for the game. So it's basically an overlay that you can have installed. And there's also this one, this is Overwolf.
I remembered third reason, which actually why in League it's the case that people freeze and not in Dota. It's because there's no jungler. The jungler is basically you as carry. So if you don't kill those camps in the jungle, they're gonna be wasted.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in that area, people don't want to kill jungle creeps near you because you're the carry. So they already thinking about your farming pattern. So if you
it's also a bigger problem because when you freeze, in League, they can't go jungle because jungle is bullshit in League, and you will just die.
Yeah,
if you fight one camp. But in Dota, I guess you could just go farm.
Exactly, and those are the main reasons. Really, being able to TP, jungling, and then you can say pulling or whatever, or denying. Those are side ones probably.
All right. Thank you very much for the tips. I will definitely send in a replay in the future of probably a Clinks game.
Yeah,
is it preferred for it to be a win or
doesn't matter probably, right?
Yeah, sure. So I just sent the 3 links for you. I think they might help you. I actually use when I climb in the MMR from Legend to Divine or something like that. I use a lot of this Dota Plus. It helps to ban what the enemies are good at. It actually tracks the enemy's Dota buff and suggests what you should ban, and based also on the matchups.
Really?
Yeah, you should look at them.
Know that.
Yeah, also the strats overlay is really good. I think the strats is even better, but I didn't use that much, just because it's kind of new.
Also, you can read the numbers, if you want to know what's more beneficial if the lane or jungle or whatever. But I think it's 2 or 3, 2.5 or 3 camps. That's the same equivalent to the lane. lane
Of
creeps.
XP?
Yeah, the XP gold approximation. So it's like ancient camp is slightly higher than one lane wave of online. But then again, you need to take in consideration that lane is still like very important, because like all jungle creeps are just like bonuses, but the lane creeps gives all those things that Bernard said, and even more, like the vision, moving for pressure, forcing them to go there and stuff like that. Like jungler doesn't do any of these mostly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So I think you should check them out, Clutch, and maybe come with extra questions.
I will. Thank you very much.
No worries, Clutch. Thank you for coming.
Alright. See you guys later.
See you.
Bye. Bernardi,
Hey. You want the video?
can you send? Yeah.
I know you, Kuroki. I see your moves. Yeah, this is really cool how I like talking about the freezing concept between League and Dota, right?
Yeah, I was like so into like Dota that I wanted to know everything. So I basically thought about how League does it, and
Mhm.
I wanted to know reasons why they do different
Yeah.
plays than in Dota. And I was thinking about this concept a lot, like with the freezing. And I actually forgot to tell him already all the reasons, but yeah, then I actually remembered why it was the case. It was also with the jungle.
Yeah.
That they cannot farm it. Otherwise, like we would do the same in Dota, really. Like that we would freeze it. We have the options like to fix it and stuff. And I even saw like pro players freezing it in Dota, like
Really?
staling the yeah, but it's super rarely, and it's actually usually on anti-mage usually. Like if you have only like raid band and then brown woods, like 2 raid bands and brown woods, or raid band brown wood, or only threads and nothing else. You have low level. Sometimes they just steal the lane there and just don't shove it in.
Yeah, I just actually never.
Nice in your
It's funny that I never heard the concept of freezing because, like, actually, on Dota, you actually think only about like lane control whenever it's laning stage, right? Almost.
Yeah.
Because so this is why you don't hear the word freeze. I never.
Yeah, and they call it because in Dota it cannot be called freeze because you have possibility to like
Pull because people
pull
might,
and
yeah.
deny. So
If the enemy pulls, you cannot freeze.
yeah, you cannot like say, oh, this is freezed. Oh wait, he's pulling. So should we call it freeze? Probably not, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not freezed if he can do something about it. But in League you just cannot.
Yeah, but what if he also pulls? Then it's freezing on the camps.
Moved. It's moved. Like those creeps will move. So how is it freeze? Once they move, it's not freezed. Also, they have the bullshits of like they need to come to base, right? They don't have courier, so they basically need to like think of these weird shenanigans. Like they cannot like go anytime they want to base to get items
Yeah.
and heal up, because then enemy might freeze and you're fucked. You're done.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna end the stream. Let's